Done.
The foundation and the equality that so many of us enjoy. You know, Mr. Speaker, we can sit there and look at the financial consequences, but the delegate talks about who pays for this. Well, when the Board of Education, if the Board of Education should ever have an answer, the taxpayers are going to pay for it. But what's happened in other states like New York with the Harlem Children's Zone and South Carolina, and what we're talking about today is a private entity coming in with tens of millions of dollars to provide that infrastructure. And that's what we need. You know, he talks about we needed to look at these negotiations and that there'll be 10-year contracts that the school boards can't get out of. But, Mr. Speaker, I sat on a charter school board negotiating with school boards, and I can assure you that if things don't go well, like the delegate said, that those charters can be pulled and would be pulled. Mr. Speaker, it really is as simple as this. We're sitting at a time where we can look at what we can do to help these children or why we shouldn't. And I would say that if people looked at why they do something, why they shouldn't do something, many of you wouldn't be using those iPads you're staring at today. The rest of you wouldn't be using those Microsoft computers you're staring at today. None of us would be buying stuff on the internet from Amazon. And Mr. Jeffrey Canada would not have founded the Harlem Children's Zone, which has supplied hundreds of leaders in industry, community, and business. And lastly, Mr. Chairman, if we only focus on why we shouldn't do something now, and we don't create an environment to attract tens of millions of dollars of educational investments from Pharrell Williams and others that are passionate about creating educational equality, there will be a future potential of Lamont Bagby's, Luke Torian's, and Dolores McQuinn's that may never reach that full potential. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Delegate from Fairfax, Delegate Bulova.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Speaking briefly.
Delegate from Virginia Beach, Delegate Davis.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Speaking to the bill briefly.
Delegate has the floor.
Mr. Speaker, I wanted to make just clarify two things. One, my last comments about the gentle ladies and gentlemen on the other side were meant as complete compliments. They're amazing people that so many others want to emulate, and we need to give them that potential. And the delegate just stated about we have great public schools, and I agree 100%. We have wonderful public schools, like I stated today. This isn't the failure of our principals, our superintendents, or our teachers, not at all. We put them in a square box. They now have more responsibilities than they've ever had.
Acting as a nonprofit agricultural organization.
Shall the bill pass? Clerk will.